Hey, everybody. Happy March. So, with all the hoopla going on with the gal who sang the national anthem a cappella at the CPAC conference, it caused me to think back on something that happened to me on a gig a long time ago. I told this story at work, and someone I told it to said, you ought to put this up on your video feed thing. I don't know what my video feed is. I guess that's what this is. So I just wanted to record this quick story because it's kind of funny. So for years, I had been on the Veterans Honor Guard. So I would play bugle, I'd play taps at the military honors when someone would die. I did this for years. I did it alongside another bugler named Kim Stevens. And for special occasions like Veterans Day, the Honor Guard would have a special ceremony at our own county courthouse. And either Kim or I would put together a classical brass quintet to do some, patriotic music before the ceremony, and then of course do taps and all the stuff as part of the ceremony. Well, so the veterans really loved this, and they looked forward to it every year. So we always did it, even though it was kind of a pain in the ass finding three other people to join us in a classical brass quintet. Uh, but one year, the day of the gig, the very morning of the gig, the veteran that was in charge of it, came up to me and said, "Hey, we've got an opera singer coming in. She is going to sing God Bless America and then the national anthem." Uh, and while we had already planned on playing background for her doing the national anthem, and we were doing it in the standard key, we had already gone over that, and that was going to be fine. She wanted to do God Bless America, and they wanted us to improvise accompaniment for God Bless America. Now, there were two problems with this situation. Number one, it was a classical brass quintet. It was not a jazz quintet, so improvisation was not something that was big with these cats. Uh, but the second thing is the version of God Bless America that they were going to do had this a cappella preamble. There's like a verse that goes in front of it that is a cappella and flowing. And then after you establish this, then you come in with the song proper, God bless America, land that we love, all the stuff that you know. Well, the problem is, you know, to a civilian, they don't understand the logistical nightmare that is saying this singer that you have never rehearsed with is going to do this a cappella opening, but then she'll start out the song in whatever key, and you guys start accompanying her in that key. Uh, and I was like, oh, hell no. Ain't gonna do that. It's just gonna be a mess. We can't do it. Let her sing the entire thing a cappella, and then we'll move on to the national anthem. Well, this poor veteran, he really wanted to hear the brass quintet accompany the opera singer. So I made a bit of a compromise with him, and I decided I'd leave the rest of the quintet out of it. I would just accompany her on trumpet, so it'd be trumpet and voice. I mean, I figured I'd find whatever key center she was singing in, and I would noodle around with it. I've made an entire career out of noodling. I could pull that off. I thought. It was folly on my part to think of something that I'd be able to pull that off. Ugh, terrible. So this opera singer shows up for the gig. I am not going to disclose what her name is, but it is a prominent opera singer here in Bloomington, Indiana. I'll let you try to figure out who it was. She comes up to me and she said, "Hey, I hear you're leading the brass quintet and you're going to accompany me on God Bless America." And I said, "Well, no, that's going to be too weird since we didn't rehearse it. I'm going to do it on, on solo trumpet. So it'll be like you and me doing a duet. What key do you do it in?" And she said, well, I don't know what key I do it in, but you got to do it with the whole quintet. The last time I did it with a whole quintet, it sounded great. I said, okay, well, when you did it with a quintet before, what key did they say you were singing in? And she said, oh, yes, yes. They said that we were doing it in the key of F flat. Okay, so for the civilians in the viewing audience, let's have a bit of music theory. I have put up on the screen what is referred to as a chromatic scale. And that means that basically each note is a half step above the note before it. So you see it goes from C to C sharp to D sharp to E. But you'll note that there is no little in between E and F. It goes straight from E to F. There is no F flat. There is no E sharp. So when she said, they said you do it in F flat, she was being stupid and presenting herself as a dumb ass. So anyway, I laughed and was like, okay, well, you do the intro thing. And then when you come in with the main chorus, then I'll start improvising a melody line around you and it'll be great. It'll sound wonderful. So we start the gig and we get to the God Bless America part. And she starts this whole melismatic opening to it. If you're familiar with the tune, there's a whole verse that opens the thing. And she did it in the most flourishy, melismatic way. And like the gal from CPAC, she was waffling between like 3 or 4 different key centers. And I was thinking, holy shit, we are going to get to the song proper, and I'm going to have no fucking idea what key she is doing this in. So I'm sitting here, with my finger in my ear and my horn, trying to get something close before we get to the main chorus. We get to the main chorus, and sure enough, I mean, she's actually seems to be centered around F. Until we get into it, and like the gal on CPAC, because she's used to singing a cappella, she like modulates down a half step and is waffling in between the two. And I'm playing I'm playing an instrument that has what's called just intonation, so I don't do microtones like she has the ability to do on the voice. So I ended up playing this entire tune along with her, noodling around, sounding like a fucking idiot in my own courthouse as she sat there. And I realized when she finished up, when she had said that the previous band leader had said that she did it in F flat, he was actually being sarcastic because she was basically singing in F, but she tended so flat that she actually created her own key center that was in between E and F. And it was super fucked up, and I hated her for it, and I refused to ever perform with her again. So, anyway, that is my quick story. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.